teach up there and have everybody at the back of the class.
It's, I said, that's what I said. I used to be a pastor, but I'm missing my lectern. You know, I'm used to having my little lectern right here. And
You might have to walk around and just actually walk up here. And like,
oh, don't get me started. I was famous for if folks started to fall asleep in my sermons, I would actually get down off the pulpit and go and sit beside them. And you would see wives start throwing elbows to husbands before I would get there to that location. Cooking ribeyes tonight. Told my daughter if she doesn't register and watch this, she doesn't get fed tonight.
She has 2 big kids at home, but
depends on what you're cooking, I guess.
Ribeyes.
Oh, well, then better sign it.
doing only wild animals.
That's good.
Yep. I would say we collaborate with them a lot with That's For You. So, yeah, they're doing just the wild animal we have right now, and kind of on a limited, like, you got his phone number, you can text him anyway, he'll go, but doesn't have a government list. We really do. And I know he was doing that new release program at 1.2, which was very helpful.
Hi.
So Mark, do you mind if we sit with you?
Go for it.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
It's been last week I worked all throughout the spring break. Reddit. I should have taken work from home days because I walked in on Monday and was so sick.
Oh no. Oh shoot. We had our student, she said she's got spring break.
Yeah, and then Jennifer over in my music department, she's also
Morning.
So there's just a paper signing sheet, just before you leave, introduce yourself.
Be nice if we fill it up.
I know, gosh darn it. I don't know. I really feel like there was the QR code let you do a check-in on the
Which is funny. I just asked her, and she's like, yep. Like, you know, like, add it. Sure. Like, we thought there was a different one. I'm waiting to respond.
Because wasn't there 2 separate numbers? Like, this is how many registered, this is how many showed up? Or no? I mean, if it's just 2 registered, but I thought there was one that was different of like who actually attended.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're right.
And when you scan this and you can't even log in, then how would it recognize? You know what I mean?
I think it's different.
Okay.
My question is, where did she get that brownie?
I had an issue with
Yeah.
Do you be online as well, and maybe just take a screenshot of the?
I'll be online. I'm gonna make a Microsoft form and then send it out so people can just say like, "Hi, I was at this event," and then we just send it that way.
That works.
Because then at least they did something. I'll put it in the chat.
We got 4 more minutes. It ain't gonna kill us if we start a little late to get people time to get here. I can speed up or slow down.
We just started. We just got our we're Einstein.
And when I'm at 220 cut off?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you like a.
I used to have a clock at the back of my
Oh, yeah.
check-in. It was the only clock allowed inside the entire sermon there. They didn't want people looking at it. Especially not on football Sundays. My mentor, when he got started, he always told me, he goes, Super Bowl season, he goes, don't keep them past kickoff. He goes, you're going to lose people, so they're going to hate you. I said, okay.
And then if you would just make an announcement like before you're done, don't forget to
Sign in. Yep. That's why you get the prizes. Yay.
Heather was like, is there anything good? I tried. I'm like, you're afraid? Yeah, I will. Yeah, I don't get the prizes. I'm here.
Of course there's nice stuff. Some really nice stuff. I'll start moving up. That's fine. Oh, yeah, you can leave it open. I mean, we won't be rowdy. So. Y'all just let me know when y'all want me to kick it off. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're on an upskilling and a reskilling training to try to help things out and get folks aware of what the college has to offer to make them take them to that next step or get them to that next position or just to have fun and just upskill in life. I'll be presenting first and talking about the different things the college offers and how it can affect your life, and then we're going to move into a fantastic training on AI. Something I like to talk about a little bit in that is, it's not going away. If you haven't gotten attached to AI yet, what I tell most folks, it's better to get on that bus now than get run over by it later, because it's not a fad. It's not going away anytime soon. And Dr. Moy, who's going to be here with us later, is an expert at it. I've been in some of her presentations. I've been in some of her meetings, and it's going to be well worth visiting. So I guess first off is me. Tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Russ Irby. I am the Director of Human Resources here at Fort Hays State University. I have had 25 years in human resources, and it has not been a direct path. I started out as an officer in the Military Police Corps, and that's all I ever wanted to do. I hadn't thought about upskilling, reskilling, pivots, what have you. Now, some folks that know me call me King of the Pivot, but I started out as a military police officer. Wanted to do it since I was 10 years old. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to be a cop, and I wanted to be a soldier. And I was blessed beyond measure because I got to be a cop in the Army. And about 2.5 years into that, my knee was destroyed on a mission in Bosnia, and suddenly I found myself I couldn't be a soldier. And when I got out, no law enforcement place would take me because my knee was broken. Suddenly, I found myself without a career and a need to pivot, and had no idea where I was going to pivot to. I decided to go, I went into corrections, and I did some bounty hunting work, did some private investigations work, but it wasn't a real career there. And while I was working in corrections, I became a counselor, working with substance abuse addicts, and eventually got out and worked in private enterprise, counseling, substance abuse counseling, sex offender counseling, other types of counseling, got certified in it, loved it. And then the business that I was working for, the owner caught cancer. Business was sold out. Suddenly I found myself out of a job again. Still could do a little bit of counseling here and there, but I decided to go back and get my master's. I even pastored a church for a while, got my certification in that, and been running the ministry for about 20 years altogether. But then I got my master's and I started taking HR classes. And I loved human resources. Basically, everything I'd ever done could actually be working towards that human resources, and I've now been doing that for 25 years. But I've never stopped upskilling, and there's a reason for that. Sometimes we don't get a choice. You hear a lot of it now, the pivot. See, there are times when there's layoffs. We are blessed we haven't had that situation, but there's companies now laying off 40,000 people, 30,000 people, some of them in the same skill sector. How then do you find a job in that city if there's 40,000 people loose with the same skill sets? It's all about learning new skills because you never know what's going to happen. Or you just want to learn something. Right now, I'll tell you, I'm taking grant writing here at the college. You know, we have the tuition assistance program because it would be good with ministry or what have you. I want to know how to write grants. And you know what? Once it's all over with, I may never write a grant in my life, but it's something they can never take away from me because it's knowledge that you gain. So that's what we're going to talk about now for about the next hour is upskilling and reskilling here at Fort Hays State University. See, building a workforce readiness through academic certificates, technical skill development, and role-aligned professional certifications. We help here with that because we have tuition assistance. We also have a technical skill growth with the technical schools that we partner with, and professional credentials. Oh, there it is. All right. 39% of key skills are expected to change by 2030, according to the World Economic Forum. I remember when I was coming through college, and even directly after, even when my son, who is now a freshman here, was in high school, they were pushing, learn coding, learn coding, learn coding. You need to know coding. Now, there is no career in coding. AI does coding a lot faster than the human can. That's why there's 10,000, 20,000, 40,000 people suddenly losing their jobs in the tech world. The video games. For those who don't understand how those are created, oftentimes it would be 14 to 18-hour days of a coder when they're building those video games. That's long hours, that's high pay, and now AI can do that. So suddenly there's a career field that might be moved. A lot of administration has gone towards AI. And folks sometimes get a little scared of it. They say AI is going to take away everything. No. They said that about the internet. They said that about the computer. For those who are slightly advanced like myself, when the calculator came out, schools wouldn't allow you to use them at first. They said, because people won't know how to do math. Folks still know how to do math, and calculators have been around for a while, folks. So is the internet, the cell phone. Things will move. I mean, think about it. At one time, there was a career field, fax machine repair person. They needed them. Telephone booth installer, telephone booth repair. It's just, the jobs just moved and needed a new career pivot. It's not that something was bad happened. It's just we moved forward. And so you adapt to new skills. Fast-growing technical capabilities include AI and big data networks, cybersecurity, and broader technological literacy. Like I said, it's get on the bus or run over by it type of situation. And it's not that hard, folks. I'm long in the tooth. About 2.5 years ago, knew nothing about AI, other than I didn't want to do it. My son teased me and made fun of me until I started. And now it's become an everyday part of my life. It's not that hard. It will actually help teach you to learn it if you let it. So, and like I said, whether it's cybersecurity, so large right now because we're so interconnected. I've actually told folks to take classes in it. I'm like, why would I need to? For your own knowledge and skills of your own computer systems, of your own data sets. A lot of people are managing their finances from home. It'd be nice if you could build your own stuff or know things that are going on. For institutions, reskilling helps close gaps faster and relying on extra hiring. That way, if we have folks here who upskill and reskill, then we don't have to bring them from other places. We can have someone here promote up, and we continue to move forward. We can't afford to wait. We can't afford to sit back as an institution, because Wichita State, KSU, and all these other colleges are going to move forward with this technology. It wasn't but a couple weeks ago I got an email, I get them from the federal government, about the Department of Labor. It's going to start requiring, for those of you who graduated from school and things, you had to have a certain literacy. Reading, writing, arithmetic. Now it's going to be you have to have a certain literacy in AI to graduate, because it's that much a part of the world. So we kind of need to have it here on campus for the students too, right? And for the workers. So what this means for Fort Hays State is a strong development strategy, helps employees keep pace with changing job expectations, grow into new responsibilities, and strengthen service across the institution. So, why it matters for us, for employees, build your confidence and credibility. Get that skill set up. You gain portable, recognizable skills, because you know what, those certifications that I have, I can take them somewhere else if I need to. I've relocated 26 times, folks, in my life. And those skills went with me every time. I guess except for the military ones because I was broken. Prepare for advancement or changing duties. We have folks that retire here, that are going to be retiring here. Spots come open, promotion abilities. That way you're ready to take that spot. Stay current in a technology-rich workplace. When workday came, new processes. The more tech you were familiar with, the better off it is. For the individual departments, you reduce the skill gaps in those critical areas. You develop internal talent instead of starting over. Y'all have been here when we post a position. Some positions now it's down to 3 weeks for hire. Some it's 3 months or more, maybe 6 months. If you've got that empty spot in that department, that hurts everybody. But if we can get people upskilled, reskilled, and internally step up to the spots, we're doing much better. Improve service quality and problem solving, and create stronger succession options. When I was interviewing here, one of the issues that we talked about was improving bench strength. It was something that they noticed that we had a slight weakness in certain areas here. This fixes that. We start getting people upskilled, reskilled, and that way they're ready to take that next step up, and we have somebody to fill that bench. So how can we as a college help you? We have academic certificates and coursework. Use the tuition assistance, to pursue eligible FHSU certificates and related coursework to build skills tied to current or future responsibilities. Grant writing. There's a certificate we have in Spanish, and I'm going to get to a long list of those, but those are those kind of situations there. You know, certificates and coursework so that you gain knowledge, gain skill sets. And then we have professional certifications, where we can support approved professional certifications directly tied to employer's field or role. So, what do? We've got to identify and clarify the role or need or skill gap. And that's for us, that's for that supervisor, or even for you. If you notice it in your department, you know, this is where we're hurting. We need to fill this. How can we fill this? What do we need? Choose a certificate or approved credential. Finish the coursework. Get a good grade. That way, that tuition assistance helps. And then use that learning to improve performance in the role. Now, I'm lucky that, like I talked about the grant writing, it's not for my job. I don't need it to move up to that next step. That's for me. It's something that I want. And we offer a lot of those here. All right, certificate pathways. Think about business and operations, accounting, finance, banking, human resources, human resources management, management, ops management, entrepreneurship, marketing, business law, graduate business, all those available for those if you want to step into that next step of business. Maybe you want to open up your own business, entrepreneurship. The door's wide open. You know, but it's not something you just want to step into. Over half of the businesses that are open every year close within 3 years. Because a lot of times it's somebody that had a great idea, fired up, and they step right into it. But the great idea is not going to carry the business. You actually have to know how to run a business. Eventually, what happens is within 3 years, they get more folks. And they have a larger base that they have to ship to, get things in, and they've never understood finance. They've never understood payroll. Oh boy, we got over 50 employees. Now there's a lot of federal rules we have to go by. Posters got to be up. What about OSHA? You see what I mean? It's a lot more involved than just having that good idea. So that's why get some classes, get some knowledge base. Business report writing. And I'll step away from there. Also, we actually have classes here on professional writing. Like if you want to write, whether it's short stories, whether it's novels, poetry, we have classes here for that. So it doesn't have to be something that, wow, what can I do to get my business better? What can I do that I will enjoy? It's still upskilling. If you get skills in professional writing, it's going to help you in your workplace. Development and sales, digital business, communication, professional development, social media marketing, so huge. Big great thing for here, helping out in your department. If you're in one of the faculty departments, how do you get your department, out there, marketed, but also for yourself? If you had that skill, it would not only train to here, but a lot of people want to be influencers now. It's not just about making a video, folks. How do you get that video out there? How do you get the looks? How do you get the likes? How do you get the comments? You go and you study and figure it out from an expert who already knows. Tourism, hospitality management, one of the biggest growing, and I'm going to put it there, and marketing. It's one of the fastest growing segments now since we've been out of COVID is hospitality. And that covers so much, folks. So much, we even have it here at the college. Technology and technical, internet working, preparing for Cisco, CCNA, preparing for Cisco CCNP. I don't know what a lot of those are, folks. Artificial intelligence graduate, full stack web development. I was looking into cybersecurity at one point in time, but I've decided to go in a different direction. They have a certificate for cybersecurity here at this college. Get those skills. Public service, pre-law, public administration, paralegal, political management, social justice. It's a popular one right now. Learn how to do it right. There's a lot of pitfalls in it, folks. A lot of pitfalls that you can end up in handcuffs. Learn how to do it correctly. Or beat down, you never know. More options across FHSU. Human services psychology, case management, foundations of public mental health, juvenile justice, criminal psychology. And like I said, these can be these can be something that you want from the outside. Geosciences, education, college support fields, curriculum and instruction certificates. Think about that. How would that upskill you here? To get that, then you move into maybe an upstep department. There's a promotion involved, more money. Reading specialist endorsement, ESOL, English is a second language, endorsement. Folks, I got news for you. The Hispanic population is the second largest group that we have in the United States right now, as far as minority group. By 2035, it is expected to be the largest minority group we have in the country. English as a second language could be very good on your professional resume. And that next step here. Library media specialist endorsement, graduate skill bridge non-degree certificate. Health and wellness related, community health, healthy aging, massage therapy, coaching. Folks, that's not only good for you, it's good for your family, and it's good for that upskilling. We're building a building. I don't know if y'all noticed, there's a building coming up right about there, I guess. I got my direction right? There, okay. That's why I can't find my car in the parking lot. But that's going to be health and wellness stuff, folks. We're going to need workers. We've got to fill that building up. Are we going to bring them from the outside? Or can we get some folks here to upskill, reskill, and fill them from internal? Professional certifications. There's a lot of them out there that you can get to. Like I said, we're working on programs with that now. I won't go deep into that because we're moving forward into those and seeing where we can get our people. But we do have professional certifications here. Here we have, some of my folks are in it. The Human Resource Certification study programs. Folks, there is a test involved to become certified in human resources that the average HR professional who's been in the field for 7 to 10 years fails it twice. It's a beast. Nope, I don't have that certification, by the way. I've been doing it for 25 years. Trust me, I done got this down by now. But for those trying to get in it, it's a rough certification. But we have a prep class here that you can take. All right, the top skills needed by 2030. Data literacy and analytics. Artificial intelligence and automation awareness. Had artificial intelligence stuff here at the college, right? We just went over that. Critical thinking and problem solving. Yep. Project management. Data communication and collaboration. Adaptability and continuous learning. We just talked about, we had that for construction. Leadership and team development. Emotional intelligence. And cross-disciplinary technical skills. Those are going to be the top needed things. This one right here, and folks go, I don't understand some of those. Why would that be needed as a job skill? Because as AI becomes larger, there's something that AI does not have, and that's emotional intelligence, because it doesn't have emotions, folks. Whatever we do going forward, there still has to be a human side of it. Some people have said that AI would take over HR. It will never fully take over HR because a lot of what we do has a human side. There are decisions we make that are human-based decisions. And that's why there's always going to be that job. So it's going to be there to help. It's a tool. I give some other talks on this. People go, AI is the job. No, AI is a tool. AI is a hammer. That's what it is, folks. It's nothing to be scared of. It is a tool. It helps you do a project better. You can build a house without a hammer. But if you were building one, it's going to go a whole lot faster and easier if you have the hammer. That's what AI is going to be doing, folks. On its own, it does nothing. But it's a tool. Learning to use that tool will allow you to work better. All right, our technical partners. This one got a little squirrely. North Central Kansas Technical College and Northwest Kansas Technical College. Folks, I talked to some people today. Do you know how many people we have here taking advantage of tuitional assistance at the tech school? Anybody want to make a guess? 3 people.
I'm one of them.
There we go. So we got a third of all the people at the tech school right here in this room. Folks, I mean, they offer a lot. In fact, the things that are going to be needed, I remember when I was in New Mexico, big problem, roof had issues, 3-month wait to have a roofer come out. Didn't have enough of them. Here at this college, I know I do in part of the hiring, trying to find plumbers, trying to find plumbers, HVAC, and other skills of that nature is very difficult now. Why? Because our colleges forever and a day smack the kids in the head and say, get your business degree. Now we've got a lot of folks out there with business degrees that can't install a pipe. And we need pipes installed. We've got to build houses, folks. Pipes go bad. And it is a very high pay, in-demand skill. And we have those trainings going over there for your own skill set to work on your own house. You know how much you got to pay a plumber? Go upskill. Get a skill set. HVAC, welding and fabrication. Maybe you want to start building your own knives, 'cause that's pretty cool. That was on TV for quite a while. But you got to learn how to weld first. You got to know what your skills are. We have electrical technology, HVAC systems, welding and fabrication, industrial maintenance, diesel and automotive technology, construction and carpentry, information technology and network support. They have that there also. CDL and transportation pathways. That is going to be a big in the near future, folks. You just don't understand how big that is going to be unless you watch the news. Almost 15% of the people in this country right now that have CDLs are not citizens. And now this country is no longer allowing them to have CDLs if you're not a citizen or here legally. That means we're about to wipe out 15% of an entire work group. They're going to need CDL drivers, folks. It's these things that start planning in the head when you see stuff like this. What's going to be up there? It might not be for you. You might say, well, I'm in my 50s, I'm in my late 40s, I'm in my 60s. One of these. Remember, dependents, folks. Setting up your dependent to have a great career field right here. Have them go over there. Get skill sets. And I say, get it for yourself. Get it for your spouse. I know my wife probably wishes I could work in plumbing. So a simple model for successful upskilling at FHSU. Map the need. We've got to identify the role, the process, or the service gap. And that's on you too. Folks that do the job know where the gaps are. And a lot of times we don't say anything. See something, goes back. See something, say something. The HR department does not look like it looked a year ago. Why? When I got here, I noticed there was a need, a gap. So I went to my boss and said, I think we got a need or a gap. He agreed. We filled the need or the gap. Now there's a better function. In your own departments. Look around. Figure out what you need. It could be a reclassification. We could sure use this here. Well, we don't have a position. We don't have the budget to hire a whole new person. We'll figure out if there's some skills that could be split between. And then go, hey, I'll take the class. I'll get the upskilling. I'll move forward. Choose that path. I mean, like I talked about, the Spanish path. It's not only beginning Spanish, it's middle Spanish, you have advanced Spanish, and you have business Spanish. For those of us thinking ahead, we're looking in the, just right out of my head below, right underneath us is the department that handles where we have new colleges opening up. And if somebody can help me with that term, I'd be thrilled. Thank you, Global Affairs. Learning Spanish. That's where they're looking in a lot of places. Central America, South America, everywhere except Bolivia, which speaks Portuguese, but everywhere else is Spanish. A large part of the world speaks Spanish. Just getting that certificate can help you out greatly for your future as we expand. Maybe you even want to go there. Maybe you get your teaching skills. And thinking about, well, you know what? I got about maybe 7 years before I want to retire. I see these international teaching positions come open. Get your degree that's needed, or you might already have that degree. Get your language skills. And then go visit a wonderful, wonderful country for a little while. And retire. Support completion. Use reimbursement, time, and supervision well. Supervisors, support your people. Encourage this to occur. And be kind. If we're getting towards finals, be nice. Don't overwhelm them. Or midterms. But the thing that's going to happen to that is that you communicate with your people. We're going through annual reviews. Find out, talk to your people. Ask them what they want to do. Ask them what they would like to achieve. And then push them towards these areas. For one, now they learn that you do care about their future and their next step. And then support them while they're doing it. Ask them if they need help with anything. If you are a leadership guru and your person is taking leadership classes, offer to be that manager, offer to be that help. If you have skills to help out your folks in it, offer to be that mentor with it. Apply the learning. Bring that new knowledge back to the job. I tell my folks when they're going out to get these certifications and skills, bring it back. I might only have enough money to send one person. Well, I got 8 people in the office. Go get those skills and bring those skills back to the office. And you're taking that next step in leadership, where you're teaching others, you're mentoring others. And sustain the gain. Build retention, readiness, internal mobility. I don't want to lose you, folks. It's hard to keep people and retention. But at the same time, if you get this and can move at the next step with your life, whether you're going to KU, Wichita, or maybe even Colorado, wherever that next step in life takes you, hopefully we're building the retention here. And we're going to see you here through 25, 30 years and what have you, and steadily moving up the whole time. All right, so we'll go over again. Tuition reimbursement supports continued education and certificates. We've been talking about that this morning. We're hoping that everything is going to be computerized soon. No more paper forms to fill out, except for the tech schools, because they're not on work day. But we're hoping now that everything in this upcoming summer and then beyond will all be digital. Makes it a lot more easier on you. Getting the classes, and so you go on there, figure out what classes are available. Get them knocked out. And by the way, that's a wonderful plan that they have here, folks. I don't know if you understand how much and how good that is. A lot of jobs do not offer that. Some offer tuition reimbursement, some and a lot offer nothing. So not only are you getting the school here, but to get it to your dependents, that's huge. I know, I put one daughter through college. Still paying the student loans on that sucker. But my young son, who's a freshman here, I don't have to worry about that. That helps out a lot. And when you're trying to get people here, when you're trying to talk people into coming here, that's a huge perk that I throw out all the time. Because that can save a family $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. Like I said, professional certifications. Technical and trade training pathways are available through our partner tech schools. Let's build that number up above 3, folks. That's almost sad. And it's because we don't... How many of y'all think each day about our partner schools that we have? Or even knew that we had partner schools? So we need to get more of that. We actually do invite them to this too. And some of them will be online now. But it's getting that partnership there. And then getting folks over there taking classes. New skills create opportunities of career mobility and leadership growth. I was doing loss prevention at Kmart. And when someone actually mentioned to me, because I came home again with a split chin from fighting in the parking lot, somebody took some cartons of cigarettes, and I wasn't going to let it happen. And a certain woman that I'm deeply in love with said, I need you to stop fighting and get a real job. And that's actually when I started going for my master's in business. Well, actually, I went for my master's in global management because I was going to travel the world and, be a jet setter. And then I took an HR class and fell in love, been there ever since. So, so create opportunities for career mobility. You might not even know what you want to do yet. Take some classes and learn. I didn't know I wanted to work in HR. I did not even know what human resources was when I started my MBA. Had no idea what human resources was. And that's been my career field for 25 years. I took a class and fell in love. Take some classes. You might actually find a whole new field that you fall in love with. Continuous learning strengthens both individual careers and the university. Folks, if I have an issue tomorrow and can't walk, everything that I have learned is still mine. I know, I found out quickly that a physical issue can derail everything that you thought you were going to do. But one thing they can't do is take away your education, folks. You can hit the gym every day and you can lose that in an instant. But unless the life is gone, you still got that. They can't take that education away. and grow the people you already have. This is a big push out there to the supervisors. Use tuition, it's not reimbursement, it's assistance strategically. Pursue role-aligned credentials. Apply learning to institutional needs. Folks, you can ask out and find out what the needs are here. Talk to your supervisors. Talk to the managers, talk to the VPs. Now, we're going to be having the degree in, I don't want to say religious studies, but if y'all have been in the classes, yeah. That's going to be coming up. Find out what else is going to be coming up. Find out what's going to be needed. Call the tech schools. I guess I could do a better job with that and put out an email. Find out what new classes they're going to be offering, what new certifications they're going to be offering. Find out what you could be on the cutting edge of. Upskilling and reskilling. All right, I appreciate your time now. Questions? Yes?
Talk about, and maybe I need to ask my boss here, as much or more than you, but certification, you said can be funded if it applies to your role.
Well, we're working on that now. It's something that the college is looking at, but we haven't quite got to that step yet.
Okay, because I wondered, I've received pushback on certification exams for some of my staff here in the last few years.
And it's for that reason that the college is looking at kind of thing. You know, but again, anything else, it's funding and moving forward. But they're really interested because we know for folks like, HR, they'll probably want to kill me right now for beating this mic, but you know, there's that HR certification and it is expensive. And it might be daunting to try to get it. So the college realized that, so they're looking at ways they can help out the employees as best they can. So that's what's being looked at.
Yeah, and IT's same way with all kinds of certifications.
Ooh, so many Microsoft certs.
Tons of them. And more recently, they've allowed for training materials, but they've not allowed for the certification exams. And that's the part people want, as long as they pass.
And that's what we are looking at.
So the new policy would state that if we pay, it becomes an item of ownership, and if you leave, you have to pay it back. Is that part of what you're talking about? Because
Yep.
for $29, the amount of paperwork that has to happen for that, and it's nowhere on our website that you have to do it, and so you don't find out until you go to do it to pay bill. And so, does that apply to doing certificate at the university? It's tuition, like how broad is the scope of that? Because
And it's going to be something you have to deal with your manager also, because it is, what's the university's needs?
well, this is
Yeah.
a state policy.
Yeah.
That's why I'm asking if that's being considered in this, because anything where you get a certification is paid by the university. If you leave within a certain amount,
You have to repay.
you repay it.
Mhm.
And so is that part of this bigger part? Because we haven't really put that out there for people, and people don't find out until they're in the process, and then business office is like, well, you needed to get all these things before, but it's
And
nowhere to be found
It,
on our
it's more information is going to be coming out.
Okay.
That's something that we're working on, and it is a great program. Like I said, but there's also a lot of stipulations in it, so that's what we're working through now. We didn't want to just throw it out there, baby bath, and people just flood in, and then it'd be a lot of chaos. So we're working with that now, and there will be more information coming out about that. Come on, questions, folks. King of the pivots. And by the way, if you're asking if it's easy, no, it's not. Starting your career completely over again is not easy, but it's been beneficial. God knows I've learned a lot of things in my lifetime because of being exposed to a lot of the situations I have. Think about it. I went from throwing people over the car hoods to helping them get out and get their lives together. So it allowed me to see both sides of that. Am I at my time? Okay. I don't know if they will push me out or not. So, any questions at all? If not, be on the break.
Sorry, what is, with regards to doing in-house training? I know we do things like lifting strengths and such, but how much does that, how hard of a transferable skill is that here? It's kind of more based here, but with regards to PCE, what are they putting out there?
Which who? I'm sorry, I couldn't.
PCE.
I'll come closer to you so that everybody can hear your question.
Professional and continuing education
Yes, ma'am.
unit, are you working with them closely to see where we have gaps in campus here and what they're gonna be putting out? Because
I have not, but it's something if you send it to me that I can look into.
okay,
Because I know there's a lot of folks with a lot of training that need it. I mean, nurses. We have a lot of nurses here. We have counselors here. Faculty you have to keep up. You know, if you get an HR certification, you have to attend so many CEUs a year. We understand. So that's why we're looking into all these areas, what we can do and what we can't do, because it can get very large and very expensive very quickly. And we would hate to start a program and have people starting it and then the funds not be there to do it, because a lot of that depends on the state also. You know, yes, sir.
So I'm going to answer the PCE.
Okay.
Thanks for asking the question. PCE is really designed not to serve the internal Fort Hays State people. That's not their mission. They're really there's kind of a few pieces for professional and continuing education, but they're all, I mean, part of their mission though is also they know that the funding for PC is only limited, and they have to create a business model that's going to fund it. So they're looking more towards external partners than internal. That doesn't mean they don't have resources there that might be helpful for internal people, but recognize that is not really their goal.
No, I think I attended that meeting when Jill and such spoke and everything, and yeah, we're looking at avenues for external partnerships to promote and build it.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see, you know, how we fill some of our gaps within Fort Hays by programs they might be offering some external partners down the road possibly. Still waiting to hear more about that.
If there's an external partner that can then help us too, then yeah, we'd be looking at that partnership. There's no problem with that.
That's another reason why I'm looking at grant funding, is if there's grants out there that could help out in situations of that nature, why not get the money, right? And for those who also, there's other areas. I love LinkedIn. It's something I've used a lot, gotten a lot better at it. They have a LinkedIn Premium where there's like 500 different trainings that they have today. And if you're a premium member, last time I checked it was like $100 a year. You can take any of those trainings. That's how I got AI certified. Microsoft certification AI was through LinkedIn. It's just part of my premium membership. And there's a lot of other classes you can take on there that can help you out. And it doesn't have to just be LinkedIn, but looking through that. I mean, I just gave options up here. That's just the options that are right there within fingertips. There are so many other groups out there that provide free trainings. Had one the other day for my HR staff that I was able to get for free. I have one coming up near soon that won't be that expensive. So look out there and see what's available. The federal government provides a lot of training for either free or reduced costs. The state government will do the same. The presenter they went to the other day, it's a free presentation, but yet if you have someone that pays, which I did out of pocket, you then get a copy of all the presentation materials and the PowerPoints, but you could take the class for free. If you want to have a group get together, it was $100 for this. If you have a group of 10 people that want to take the training, each chunk in $10. And that way you get a copy of all the PowerPoints. But that's just examples, folks. You know, go out there and look. It's your future. It's your upskilling. It's your dependents' future. Put effort into it. Find out the best way to get that next upskill for you. That's all I got. Any questions? Still questions? Any questions? And you know where we're at in human resources. If you do have questions, please come visit. And it's nice to have visitors who aren't coming over there because of the problem. Just come over and say hi.
We did get the QR code to work, so if you haven't yet scanned it, actually myself or Maya and scan the QR code, please. If not, thank you, Russ.
And do please stick around, because I think Magdalene May is going to have a wonderful AI presentation coming up very soon. Just as a question, if anybody, just email me if you want a copy of this PowerPoint presentation, see all the list of all the different things that we got and that the tech school has. Just email me. I'll be glad to send it to you. Break time, folks, if y'all want to gather any kind of water, tea, or
Okay, so what's the next step for an admin?
more than others because, of course, when those calculations come open, we see who's building. But
Yeah, but if you've been here long enough, you know some of the departments you wanna be in and the departments you don't wanna be in. I mean, I have two associate's degrees. One is a business administration and one's accounting. But, so I kinda do, but I like being in a department that I work with the students, typically the grad students. So I guess in my area, I don't wanna move. I mean, because I was even asked why I didn't go for our dean admin position, and I don't wanna be in a department that there's nothing going on, I just.
the thing about Kansas now, ever since they passed that law this last year, but say you've got experience, but you don't say, but it used to be bachelor's degree required, and all folks got pushed back by that. But now instead of Kansas, no longer says you cannot require a degree unless, let's say, you're not an instructor here. Yeah, we have certain groups that certify they have to have at least a master's or above, or else we can't teach them. If you don't have your nursing license, you aren't being a nurse, I don't care who you are. But, these other jobs, it says bachelor's degree required. Now, bachelor's degree or 4 years experience in lieu of associates for 2 years, master's in 6 years. Doctors saying I'm not that.
How long have you been in this position? Current position, 27 at the university. How long have you been in this?
6.
Yes. Here, Jackie, how long have you been in your position? 16.
I mean, you get the right person in the right department, but I think it works. But you know what I think they're going to try is with the biology. That is because, I don't know, getting with biology, that's what intrigues me. I am a person, I'll sit and watch CSI, or, I watch the movies on Lifetime that, murder investigate, I am, that's what interests me.
Daddy left his water bottle.
I am the criminalistics of biology, because that's more of the crime scene investigator,
And one young lady
Not yet, 'cause I'm watching not as
You better further that screen, you better. And the glow is like,
It's a scary department. Yeah, they're really
oh, you're perfectly fine. USB port?
Yeah, I can. I think you can stick it in the dock.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what they figured. I'm like the least tech dude that you're ever gonna meet, so.
Well, last time it just gave me.
But I love AI, but I'm not a tech dude. Usually what I do.
All right, okay. I was like, I was in another meeting. I was like, I have to go. I have to leave. Yeah. Perfect.
I'm gonna catch you for lunch. Over here. See you again. Have you signed your registration yet? Sorry, I got a
wait,
bad
oh.
back and I'm leaning over.
No, so we got about 6 minutes.
There's one graphic. What is your thought on that? For social media. Or
Looks like it's working.
Yep.
do you want something like I showed you before?
Nope, sorry. You're good.
Yeah, the person I was like, you're not renewing, just so you know. It's the same email.
I don't know. Yep.
That's my
I'm sorry.
feels very strongly the other way.
Yeah. Russ, what do you think? What screams
I
hackathon
try not to.
you? Sorry, oh my back.
Gets me in trouble when I'm at home.
Does that hackathon make sense?
Sure.
Or what does that say to you?
I like the other one better.
Thank you. Sorry.
And, look when people then.
Yes.
Yes, and Dawn redid our press release, and she's gonna find a computer hacker image to do a small image with. And I think that's all we can do. Yeah. Let me know if we need to run more reports for extra departments and groups.
Okay. That I might do.
Just saying,
I'll see how desperate I get. I'm gonna do it one more time to this group, and I did honors college, and I did.
Well, I emailed Honors College as well, and I emailed SUI.
But I'm ready to hold it. Get your act together because
He was very good with me though. He said he was so I might just walk around buildings and see who's put up what. Like,
I'm gonna move this over here. Don't want to grab it off the desk when Brother Dave's gone.
we'll get it up.
We do have a mic for the stream.
Oh,
I still got this one on. Come do her introduction.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
So excited to have you here.
I feel like I'm going nuts. There's just like so many things to do.
I understand. Trust me, I understand.
I will eventually screen our applicants. I think I have time Friday morning.
Like I said, if you need help with that, you let me know. That's what I'm there for. Still got a few minutes.
How's your week going?
Just staying busy. Never slows down with HR. Your spot and 100 others. So. And then trying to, like I said, just get it built to where I want it. We have a new onboarding program that I've created that I'm waiting to go through ELT. So it's a full 1 day onboard, not that hour and a half, just going to benefits turn you loose, to where it's more of an immersive, and even bringing the department managers in to meet their folks, and then recreating the handbook because it's 12 years out of date.
Yeah, I just redid the policy for the provost for Blackboard support. And that was like 2009 or something like that. And I was like, oh, they're like referring to systems we don't have anymore.
Well, and it's going to be up to Jill and a partner group. I'll work with them if they want to create an entire new faculty handbook. The one that I just finished was only for staff because Jill was like, well, I would prefer. I'm like, okay, you got the faculty. I'll help. But so.
Let us know if we can help with that, because like we would do Zoom onboarding and Panopto if they use any of those technologies. And a lot of our like admins do Blackboard support for their departments too. So if you're putting together a whole day, we already do like new faculty orientation, but staff haven't had anything.
Mm-hmm. Except for the August thing. And if you hire someone in September, then they gotta wait till next August to be onboarded now. So that's what we're trying to fix.
There you go. Yeah.
It's taking that, but a lot of new stuff. Is it Magdalene or Magdalene?
Magdalene.
Okay.
Yeah, the P's are a little confusing.
Well, I have an Aunt Magdalene, so that's okay. Well, good afternoon, everyone. We're about to move into our second presentation of the afternoon, and it is my honor to introduce today. We're so fortunate to have Dr. Magdalene Moy with us. Dr. Moy serves as an instructional technologist at Fort Hays State. She partners with faculty to design engaging, technology-driven learning experiences that meet today's needs and workforce. She does have a very unique background and blends educational experience, science, and teaching. It's a hodgepodge that actually works together very good. And it allows her to approach learning from both a technical and a very human aspect. She chairs the FHSU's Generative AI Task Force, to where she is so knowledgeable in this field. I've enjoyed listening to her about it and learning things about it from her. She helps guide how we responsibly integrate emerging technologies into education. Her work sits right at the intersection of upskilling, reskilling, and the future of learning, which makes her the perfect person to lead today's conversation. Dr. Moy?
Thank you. That was really nice. I don't know all of that was 100% accurate, but I'd like to think it is. Oh, Mark. Gold star today. I wish I brought candy. Magdalene Moy, you probably have either gotten an email from me about AI, probably several emails. We'll get another one after today. And you've probably sat in a workshop with me on AI previously. So I tried to do this workshop a little differently than I had in the past. And I see you all have laptops. Good. Going to work. Rude. No, this is hopefully the goal of this is that you're using AI specifically in your workflow, and I don't know how that's going to work unless I see how you're actually going to use it. That way I can give you hopefully specific contextual support for using it and maybe doing it better if you're already using it. I'll go ahead and mute myself. All right, so I thought we'd start off with, how are you already using AI? I did give space. If you aren't using AI, that's becoming less and less the case, but there's space for you if you haven't used AI yet. You will have to do it today, and then you're no longer going to fall into that category. All right. All right, so we do have a couple non-existent. I'm not sure if I can see how many folks answered that way. Can I call out whoever did the one advanced? No, looking around suspicious. Who was it? All right.
There are some online.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's not to shame you. That's great. I just wanted to see, because we only have one person who identified this way. And I think as it's a growing field, it keeps getting, I don't know, more and more intense. Less and less people are feeling like they're advanced. But a lot of people fall in that beginner and proficient, and so, yeah, so I won't call anyone out. That's good to see. And then we do have some non-existent ones, so hopefully we change that today, because I'm going to give you work time, and so hopefully you're not just going to be answering emails during that time, but are actually practicing using AI. I had AI make this presentation. I did edit it, but one of the requests that we get is using AI to make presentations. So this is edited, and I will show you the one that it popped out for me so you can see that I did actually do some work and I didn't completely just use AI to make it. But this was a couple different conversations I had with AI, basically saying, you know, I've done probably 20 workshops this year on AI. I think that there will be people in the room who have already sat with me a number of times and I don't want to bore them. How might I change this presentation up? And this was theirs. I humanize AI, so please forgive me. And I haven't had enough coffee to like filter myself a little bit better. So we'll define, hopefully throughout this presentation, the value that AI might have for you in your workflow, however you feel comfortable using it, and then give you some tools to use it better if that's the way that you want to move forward with it. I'll talk about some tools that you have available through Fort Hays. I'll focus on Copilot and Gemini because that's what we have at as licenses, pro licenses with Fort Hays, but you also have Adobe Express as a license. If you're interested in that, we'll talk a little bit about it. And then if you want to see ChatGPT, Claude, those are the only two I have licenses for that I could show you those as well, but we'll focus in on those two. And then we're going to do some context engineering, so hopefully upgrading from prompt engineering into context engineering, hopefully getting you better outputs from the get-go. We'll do a live demo, and I'm going to say this up front because I haven't tried it, so I'm hoping it's going to work out exactly the way I imagine it, but if it doesn't, then, you know, let this be a lesson to all of us to be more prepared. And then I'll give you work time, and half of the workshop is really kind of focused in on this. So at that time, I'll ask you if you want to be thinking of something to spend your time doing with AI, that would be good. If you want to work in pairs or groups with people in your department, that might be useful for you for that. And then we'll talk next steps. If there are any questions throughout this presentation, feel free to stop me. I've been going back-to-back meetings all day, so I'm not in my best mind state. So if I'm missing something or you have a question, please let me know. If there's anyone online who has a question, stop me. All right. So there's a number of different things that you can do with AI in our workflows. Communication, summarization, organization, event planning, and marketing. One of the tasks that my conversation with the AI highlighted was like, oh, you can do summary of notes. Hopefully you all know that Zoom can take notes for you and you're using that tool, but if not, I'm happy to also demo that for you because I feel like there's no reason for any of us to be taking notes during meetings unless you're going to do it alongside this kind of companion that can capture with you. And then you can use another tool like Gemini to summarize notes on top of that, or pull themes from it, or just double check next steps. But you do have that available to you. I'm going to do an event planning demonstration for you, mostly because I've been doing that a lot lately, which is what you'll get some emails from me after this, but also because I think that it is an easy entry point to show like how you might walk through a workflow with AI. And then maybe you're already using it for creating images. And I will point out, although I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Adobe Express, that is particularly good for image creation. It will also make presentations for you and do AI work around that. So if you need help logging into that, we can look at that. I actually did this presentation in Gemini and then uploaded it into Adobe Express to kind of finish it. All right, so how are you currently using it? Because I want you to reflect on how you're already using it or not using it. I know there are some of you who said you haven't used it yet. And then get into what you want to use with it. Who chose other? Patty, how do you use it?
Well, my other right now is to review comment data. It's not for data analysis technically. It's to remove personally identifiable information that students still do even when you ask them not to, because it's anonymous. And the other is for some award stuff that we're needing to pull out some very specific words, and do we have those words anywhere in the documentation enough to justify that this person is a winner, so to speak.
Okay.
So
Cool.
those are my others.
Yes, Heather?
Event planning, really helpful in that, and changing gears and figuring out what's working, adding new steps if needed, etc.
Absolutely. Yeah. Event planning it's been my life right now. It's slowly destroying me. But yeah, cool. This seems like I think this is the first way most people used it to edit text, to do like checking your tone on emails and stuff like that. I haven't played too much with data analysis, but I know there are people on campus who have been doing it that way, and I have asked some to present at the AI Institute so that I'm not making up a fake scenario if that's really what you want to do with it. Creative uses. The create presentations is relatively new for me, so this was one of the ways that I was testing it, and then 3 who don't. So again, I'll try not to pick on anyone, but I do hope that by the end of this, the people who haven't used AI yet can share out a little bit more, and hopefully they find it useful. All right. Have all of you used Copilot before? Has anyone not? No? All right. So I usually go through my Outlook. It's maybe not recommended, and do ignore the insanity of my inbox. But Copilot exists under your apps for it. You can also go to Copilot directly from your browser. Oh, that's cute. I'm already signed in, so you should be signed in as well. All right, so this is what Copilot looks like. You have a couple different tools in it. You'll see that you can now speak to it. Oh, sorry. You can now speak to it. Okay. Okay. Can you hear me? All right, well, I'm gonna go back out. You should be able to speak to it on your own. Okay, so that's really weird. So it did hear me. It just didn't want to talk to me in that window. Gemini's better at that, but you should be able to dictate directly into that chatbot. You have the ability to change the level in which you want it to interact with you. So I would probably recommend to always do the think deeper on it, and I'll show you what the equivalent for that is in Gemini. If you were going to try to learn something, then that study and learning is meant to be more of a tutor and not give you answers directly back like if you would normally Google something.
How did you get that pop up?
This is this drop down. Do you have that? Are you logged into your FHSU email? Is anyone else not seeing this?
I see tools, but I don't see smart.
Oh, I've opened it off the app
Huh.
on my computer.
Yeah, like in Teams.
Well, no, it's just the,
Is that an agent that you've already installed?
is that the?
No. No, this is just the regular chat interface if you're on the browser version.
Yeah, we just,
It shows for me.
It does.
have the add content and tools.
Do you mind if I just check? Okay. You went over here, but you want to be over here. Okay. So if you,
I found it
okay.
on the app.
Yeah, so I just want to go back real quick. So if you went from this button up here on the top, then it's doing a Copilot within your Outlook inbox versus down on the side, which is your app. And I'll just double check that.
You said we can get a license through you, or?
You should already have the license installed if you're using your FHSU. So if you go through your inbox and you click it, you should, let me just.
Is it basic?
No, it should be a pro account, but it is a limited pro account.
Mine asked me to request a license, that's the reason I was curious.
Are you,
Through here, where you just clicked and got me on? Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
want to turn you over to Mark.
I love AI.
That's so strange.
Is it mad because I always use ChatGPT instead?
Yeah, maybe it's
It's
managed.
jealous.
I'm not sure. Well,
I'll get with you.
I'll look at that. Is anyone else having issues with Copilot? You as well?
I'm in the same.
Are you on the old or the new Microsoft Outlook if you're going from your email?
New.
Because if you're not on the new, it doesn't always show up.
I see. So it might be a,
Mine's saying I need to request a license.
okay, which is the same as Russ.
But if you go to the,
But
are
if
you
I
on
do
the
the
old?
little-
If you go to the new, it's available. Oh, you're on the new?
Mine says upgrade Copilot, and I was on a basic, and it was logged in on instant.
That's okay, because I actually don't like Copilot, and we're going to spend more time in Gemini. Because I'm not really sure why that's happening. It shouldn't be the case. Yeah.
Fond of it either.
I will follow up after this and figure out why that's not working, but I will say that I do like, that's not even a lie. I really do like Gemini more than Copilot. So we'll just move on to Gemini, and hopefully everyone can get into that. You can go, yes.
So I have a question, it's a security privacy question. For Fort Hays State, I know we have a Microsoft agreement which then puts for Google, I mean not for Google, for Copilot, you type stuff in there and it's not gonna go out on the whole web, right? That's my understanding.
Right.
Does the same thing apply to Gemini?
Yes. We did look that up.
In
Fall?
the security training, it said that the Google thing is not secure. That Google stuff was not secure in the security training last fall. So is that different? Gemini's not in that, because aren't they Google?
It's Google, but I don't know.
I thought when we had looked up, we asked that question last fall, and the information that was given to us at that time made it seem like because it's in an enterprise license, it similarly doesn't go back to train the model or leave our system. But okay,
I think that's right.
I think that's right too.
I'm not 100%.
Now I'm doubting it myself.
I think that sounds right.
I believe that's true, and that is what I've been telling people. We did ask the Google rep a year ago, but I can certainly follow up with that as well. But that's what they had said to us when we had reached out. So you should be both protected, data protected in Gemini and in Copilot.
That'd be a great thing for the security admin to add to the training next year.
I'll pass that on.
If you're in Google Chrome and you're logged in, then Gemini is one of your apps. Otherwise, you can just go to Gemini. And if you're, you'll know if you're signed in because it'll have the FHSU logo in the top. If it doesn't have it, then you're not in the potentially data protected Gemini. Don't do that.
Don't run our personal Google. We should not deal with.
You should not, you can use it.
Right. But
Um,
for anything with
Don't use any FHSU.
Yeah, don't put FHSU data in it. And you do have, again, a limited pro license in Gemini, which is more expansive than in Copilot when Copilot decides to work. So similarly with Copilot to Gemini, you have this ability to toggle between, and you should see if you're logged into FHSU, the pro version to select. In addition to that, you also have different tools. The guided learning tool is, again, kind of more for if you were trying to learn something specific. It shouldn't give you answers right away. It should kind of scaffold your learning, ask you if you want flashcards, things like that. That's more targeted towards our students, but you might find that useful if you're trying to learn something new. The create image is coming from Nano Banana, which is their image generator. It's very good. If you haven't played with it, you should try to play with it, but you'll find that limitation pretty soon. I think you can get about 5 to 10 images, depending on how many times you reprompted, before it tells you that you've met a max. You'll get that available to you after a certain amount of hours. Again, we're going to play a lot in this Canvas space. What Canvas does, which is really useful to me, if you're writing a report, you're asking for presentations, you want a website mock-up, it'll split your screen in half, have your chat on one side, and have the prototype on the other side for you. So we'll look at that as well. Sorry. And then the last one that they just came out with, maybe like a week ago, was this Create Music. I started playing with that. I had it draft a song for my dog, and it was like 30 seconds. And I was like, I need it to be longer because I really love my dog, and it should be a ballad. I don't know what I said to it, and it was like, okay, here's 38 seconds. So I don't think you can get over that amount of time, not yet. Like I said, maybe it's been out for like a week or two, but that's fun if you haven't tried to play with some creative uses in it. I'll just share that my dog Tengu is a blue heeler, so I was like, write me a cowboy song with my beautiful blue heeler dog, you know. And I probably have it somewhere, and I'll just show you this. Yeah, see, Tengu song. Look at that image to go with my ballad for my beautiful blue heeler. It did stop me after a certain point, and I had used up all my credits for this song for a little bit of time, but it's kind of a fun, easy entry point if you've never played with it before and you have a cat that you want to sing a song to. We'd recommend. All right, I will show you the slides that came out of this. So I asked Gemini to make me a presentation for this workshop, and it didn't create the slides for me because I didn't hit Canvas. And so just something to note, if you aren't using the right tool with your request, then it won't give you the right thing. So just keep that in mind. If you're asking for something, make sure that you're on the right level that you want to be using, and then that you're using the right tool for it. So for whatever reason, it really did not produce a pretty slide for me. It did, let me see if I can show you the slides that it did make for me. So this is what it made from that. One of the nice things about using Gemini, if you were going to make slides, you can see that you can export it to slides at the top, and then it puts it directly into your Google Drive. So you don't have to do multiple things. I've done this a few times before and didn't have this same problem, but you'll notice in the slides, it's giving me presenter notes on top of the text. But I will point out one of the nice things, so these are all AI generated images in here. And at the very end, okay, it's not clean. I do have the clean version of it. If you ignore the presenter notes that are coming in on it, it's giving a source for each of the images that it's created for you too, which is kind of nice if that's something that you need to include in a presentation. All right. So
I have a deep research tool.
yes. Did I not show that?
I didn't see that. What is that for?
Deep research is usually used for, let's say you wanted to do a literature review of something. You're going to do a report on the K-Board institutions or something like that. You could turn on the deep research and it should link for you all of its sources. So this is one of the ways that you can get around some hallucination, is that it should be a live link for you, and then you click on it and you make sure that that's real. I probably have used it a number of times for different reports. Let me see if oh, that's weird. I could have sworn I didn't see that last time. But that's how you would use that. If you wanted sources, you're doing something that you needed to verify across. It wasn't something that you're just like, edit for me. That's how I would use that. Cool. Any other questions on Gemini? Please don't ask me questions on Copilot. I don't know what was going on.
The part about Copilot means Microsoft, but yet, I've tried to use it with Excel or PowerPoint, and it says, I can't make the slides, I can't do Excel. I'm like, so you're telling me that ChatGPT can make an Excel and a PowerPoint, but yet Microsoft's own AI can't?
Right.
Crazy.
And Copilot is based off of GPT. And so
GPT can do it.
Right. I've never liked Copilot. It's not changing my mind today.
I don't like it either.
I don't know what the problem is with it, but it's one of the weakest AI tools that I've come across for the amount of backing that it has versus like an open source model or something that's free. I find it a little strange. Yeah, I don't use it for that, but Gemini I do find very useful to integrate with the slides, presentations, forms, and sites, like Google Sites. What Copilot does do better is that if you were in, and it's probably not going to work now that I've been talking smack on it. If I was in an Excel file, it should have on top, I'll just open something. It should be integrated into it. So like if this was a real cash flow, you should be able to actually just use Copilot to do some analysis of your Excel file. I have not done that, but I did, like I said, ask someone to come to the AI Institute to present on that, because for the data privacy, you might be very interested in data analysis, and then you would want to be able to use Copilot for some of those aspects of that work, so you're not transporting it out into like Google to do it. So that is maybe one of the better features of Copilot. and I'll go back to my question. Any questions on Gemini right now or Copilot? Everyone's in? Everyone has gotten the access to Gemini?
I haven't gotten access to my Fort Hayes. It's only through my personal.
If you should automatically be given an @mail.fhsu.edu.
Yeah, I tried putting that one in and it said it didn't recognize me.
We're going to have a talk, you and I. We should have prepped before this to make sure. I will figure out what's going on with your accounts. I'm not really sure why. Because it should automatically be here, and you should have been given an @mail when.
I felt like I signed in with just my normal email.
No, I went into my Google, so it'd be the @mail, but then it takes you, when you log in there, it takes you to Workday, so then you log in with your @FHSU to get that security, to get into it.
It's your second account, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'll just point out again, you should have that @FHSU logo.
Yeah.
Does anyone not have that? No.
So on my Gmail account through Fort Hayes, I didn't know I had it. And when I try to get into it, I don't know my password.
Okay. It's going to be the same as your
TigerNet ID?
Yeah. Okay. So if you go sign in and do the @mail, see if it'll let you get in that way. Okay. Okay.
It's up there.
All right. So just to recap, Copilot, so if you use Gemini, make sure you're changing your speed. You want to probably be in that Pro. You can switch back to fast, especially if it's something that you don't need a lot of compute for. But since you have the Pro, you might as well use it. And then you want to switch to the correct tool that you're using. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through a demo. I think that's where I am in my slides. Oh, no, it skipped. Sorry. All right. So you've probably heard of prompt engineering. I'm going to try to upskill you to context engineering. The goal being here is that you're not giving a single prompt. When you're starting off with the chatbot, you're asking a pretty robust question, right? So even if you were going to have it edit an email for you, you're probably going to say something along the lines of, I'm attaching an email draft that I want you to review. I need this to go out to faculty members. I want it to sound friendly but stern, and I need them to recognize that I put dates and deadlines in this email. Please review it and make suggestions for me. Ask any questions before you just edit my text. Sometimes I'll also say, like, if you're making any changes in my text, make sure you bold it so I can see where you made changes. So you want to give a lot of context when you do that first prompt, because now your Gemini is remembering your whole thread. It's also remembering across threads. And so the more you give it in your initial prompt, the easier it is for it to not get confused as you go forward. So you don't want to say, like, read my email. It's going to say, oh, I read your email. Nice, good job. But what you really wanted was for it to change your tone or make sure that it was appropriate for the audience that you're setting it out to. So you want to do that in your initial prompt. You'll get a better output. And then if you have to re-prompt it, you're better off giving it large chunks of data. Or sometimes recently, I felt like just restarting in a new thread makes for a better outcome. So just keep that in mind. If you keep reprompting and it's not giving you what you want, it could be that it's memorizing what you said and getting confused. Okay. There's a lot of different frameworks for prompting. This is one where you want to give it the role, the task, the audience, the context. To me, I don't hit all of these notes each time, especially if what I'm giving it to do, I already know exactly what it is that I need from it. But you do want to give it a lot of context. You'll get out a better output. So we will practice that today. All right. This is going to be the live demo. I'm going to do it in Gemini. I hope it's going to work. Although I do a lot of marketing campaigns, I don't know anything about it really. I just do my best. And so I'm going to demo for you an actual workflow with that particular model. And ideally, this is going to work exactly how I plan. All right. So in Gemini, I would start a new chat. I would change this to Pro. And a lot of times with Gemini, it does a pretty good job when you dictate the prompt. So that's how I will demo it to you today, but you're welcome to type in it if you want to. Okay. All right. I'm working on a campaign, a marketing campaign for a new chemistry program, and I don't do marketing campaigns, so I need you to help me think through what strategies I would need to do, like step by step. What do I need to put in place for this marketing campaign? What are the stakeholders that I need to include, particularly around maybe getting a statement from the chair or some faculty members, some current students. I want you to basically take me through each step, starting with, the program details to social media marketing to different populations that would be interested in this program. So what I didn't do is give it a role, because sometimes I think it, so you could do that. In fact, I would encourage you when you in your own time to see what the difference is versus like, I am working on a marketing campaign versus you are a marketing campaigner. I don't know if that's the word, but that's your job, right? See how it sculpts it differently for you. For me, it's easier to say what I need to do because then I think it helps me more because I'm saying that I don't know how to do something. Don't know if that's true. I don't really go back and test it once I get what I want, but you can decide how you want it to kind of interact with you. You'll notice that I didn't pull in a tool yet because I want it to do the outline first for me. Yeah, see, and then it gives me a little bit of confidence. It's pretty nice. All right, one of the things that I'll do with the Pro is give you its thinking. So it's useful here if it's giving you an output that you don't like, and sometimes you can find in its thinking where it went wrong, or maybe you said something wrong in it. So like, let's say, I don't need a chemistry campaign, I really meant physics or something like that. Don't go back to this, start a new chat, and fix it. All right, so now it's giving me phase 1, define the program details and audience, gather stakeholder statements and content, build your marketing assets, social media campaign strategies, launch and track. Any of these interesting to you all, and we can go deeper with them. All right, fine, I'll do it myself. We will do marketing assets. That way I can show you Canvas. All right. So I would probably switch over to Canvas, which you can in Gemini, switch your tools within the same chat. You can go back and forth between them. And then I would say, I actually do have the stakeholders, and I have some statements from current students. What I need now is a social media strategy. I need to be able to target prospective students who are traditional age students and non-traditional students. I probably want to think about a web page setup and a Instagram post. Can you create wording for both of those for me? All right, so this is the Canvas tool. So it's broken it up and is giving you a canvas to work on. This should be the case. Anything in Gemini should be transferable to Docs, to Excel, or to Sheets, to Forms. So anything within the Google Suite, it should be able to transfer pretty nicely for you. All right, so it's giving me it as a document, but I want this as probably a visual. So I'm going to say, can you make this like a web page, please? And I didn't test this before, so I'm hoping that it's going to show you a web page. All right, once it's doing a web page, you'll see at the top that it has that code versus preview. If you're going to copy and paste this into a web page, then you can use the HTML. Maybe it needs to finish. The preview will show you what it should look like. So sometimes if it doesn't quite translate out for me, like Cascade doesn't let you really copy and paste super well into it, sometimes I'll look at the assets that it's made, and then I'll just try to match to it. Perfect. All right, so this is our chemistry program. And if I had a little snippets from students, I could probably have attached them and said like pull it into your web page design. Because right now, I think it's just hallucinating, yeah. You know, more of like placeholders versus actually giving it all the content that you want. So, have any of you tried doing something like this before?
Not in Gemini.
Not in Gemini.
Not in GPT.
Me too, I've done ChatGPT.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, I also use ChatGPT a lot. Gemini is pretty good, and it is data protected, and for our purposes, free. So, good to try. All right. I want to give you time to think of a project to do. So I'm going to try to hold you accountable by making you answer to me what you want to do with our time left. So we only have, say, like 20 minutes to do something. I'd like you to recognize in yourself what you want to do, and then I'll be floating around to help you try to do it. I do think that it's really useful to have it scope out for you each step and then be like, I want to work on step 1, right? And now I'm ready to work on step 2 and stuff like that. I think that's helpful. So if you don't have something already top of mind that you want to do with AI, then I would suggest like you could try Copilot in Excel, as long as you're on the browser. You can try doing an email draft, or if you're new, then I'm gonna say like make us a song and put it into, like share it with the class. I think that'd be nice. right? So once you told me what you want to do, pick your platform. Feel free to try again with Copilot. And then start working on it. I'll float around, like I said, to answer any questions or try to help you think through some of that, or maybe help you with the initial prompt. I will share just quickly, since we do have someone who's looking at images, that you do have an Adobe Express license. And so again, if you sign in through your @mail, or sorry, with this one you want to be in your @FHSU account. Adobe Express is a web-based one, and you'll see that it also has this generate with AI. It'll generate presentation slides for you, and it will generate images. It's pretty good at generating images. It has, Adobe Express has like a very specific model for not using images that are created elsewhere, so that they're not taking other people's work for images. So you're welcome to play in this one as well. Or in Copilot, you also have Nano Banana. Which is this generate images.
Dr. Moy, in our ASNID meeting that we had just prior to this, Scott Gross was there, and he told us to email him for an Adobe link as opposed to just logging in with our FHSU account. Isn't
Yes,
that what
he said to get the marketing, all of the marketing stuff.
Okay. I mean, I have.
Yeah, all the branding. He said that he has to go through him to get the branding information.
I didn't, and I have it, but I don't know. I don't know why that would be. But if you need to email him to get the link, then that's perfectly fine. I'm not gonna.
mattered or not, but I thought, well, since he had shared that with us, maybe.
I did. I had to ask him for permission.
And it.
Yeah, he did send out an email in October that.
If you were in Canva.
Yeah, that if we were in Canva that we had to, well, but in that email, he put the Adobe Express FHSU brand kit. He labeled, or he's got it underlined in his email.
I would be interested if one of you wanted to log into Adobe Express and see if you don't already have the brand kit built in.
I had done his professional development day presentation.
And so you have it.
And didn't have it at that point, had to ask for permission. And I've been using Adobe Express for like a year and a half.
This is recent. I would say I realized that I had the branding.
Where do you go for that?
It's on this.
Yeah, I'm in brand.
And
Yeah, I don't have anything.
okay. Then you should do what Scott said and do that. But what that will do is, like, if you're making a presentation, I'll just show you real quick. I don't know where my stuff is. All right. If you're making a presentation and you click the brand, it'll overlay the colors directly into it so that you're matched with our, so like instead of that green, if you click it, it'll put it into our brand colors. If you click it again, it'll switch through the different colors. You can see that that text didn't change, but that's kind of what the branding would do in it.
Automatically set mine when I was creating one. It actually it figured out the colors.
Oh, and
said,
put
would
it
you
in your
like-
color.
Would you like me to put everything this color, this style, and use your? But
Right.
that was changed. Today's presentation was also created.
Fair. All right. Go back. All right. As you all are working through this, do you have any questions? Students don't have access to Adobe Express unless they're an SE account. Okay. I don't know. You can talk to Mark or something. Maybe Scott Gross. I'm not sure who would.
Like, we transitioned to that from Canva, I don't know, 2 years ago maybe.
And they didn't.
And trying to get, and our students that were with us then was fine, but any new students that we've hired since then has been a real bear to try and get them the right.
It's probably because, like,
Because of the licensing change.
yeah. In about 5 minutes, I'm going to have you all share out with me what you've done in the 3 minutes I've given you to do something.
The big difference for mine was when I stopped giving it prompts. Is I said I would just tell it. Like this was one the other day that it created for me.
Okay, that's awesome.
But all I did was I wrote what my post was. I said, now you suggest an image
For it.
based on what I've written.
Mhm.
That's all I ever do anymore. Because when I used to tell it what images I wanted, it was never that good.
Good.
But when I let it have creative mastering, I'll just say, this is my post, create an image, and this is what it throws up for me, and on a typical basis.
Nice.
Just
That's ChatGPT then. Yeah.
That's the reason, because every
Yeah.
time I was trying it with the others, I couldn't.
Get it. Yeah. Nano Banana's pretty good, I will say.
I'd already fell out of love with it because I'm trying to do the Excel and the PowerPoints and stuff.
Yeah.
Because when I tried to do this one today, we don't do
Yeah.
PowerPoints, so I moved it over. What it said to do, I moved it over to ChatGPT. Can you do this? Yes.
Right. Yeah, no, ChatGPT and Gemini even will be better.
I probably need to try Gemini sometime.
Yeah. I will share something that might be helpful if you're ever doing image generation. One of the things that I tend to do, especially with like a marketing campaign, you might want to match style. So if you give an image to it before you ask it to, I'm going to pull in something that's not a QR code. All right, I don't know what that is. I think that's Hackathon. Yeah, it is. One of the things that I'll say to it is like, I need you to create me an image based off of the style of the image that I've attached for you so that I can get a series of images that are all in the same style. So if you have a style that you like, having it review the image first to make a style guide before you ask it to prompt an image will get you closer to probably what you're looking for. Otherwise, it kind of defaults to this neon backglow light kind of deal. So sometimes it's helpful if you're looking for a specific style to let it come up with a style type for you. Are there any questions from online that I should be looking at? Yeah, perfect.
Definitely gonna try that create music later.
Yeah. I really loved it. I made my dog sit and listen to the song. He did not love it, but I had a good kick out of it. I don't know.
is what I prompted. But I asked them basically, what else do they need for me to create what I was asking for? And then it gave me all this information, so I gave it to them. And then it wanted me to connect. And I declined it because I didn't know if I was supposed to. So what's that?
That's like if we were, we're not connected through.
Because it actually popped up and it wanted me to connect to this and it gave me some information, but I said no. And then this is what it told me. Because I don't use Gemini, I use ChatGPT. So I thought, well, I'll try this out, just see what it gives me.
So this would be, it's trying to pull in tools.
Okay. But then it wouldn't let me go back and do it. Like I went back in and put in what I had put, and then it just gave me an email that I had asked for content.
Okay. Yeah, it's trying to do like, it's basically wanting to be more agentic and pull in tools.
Okay.
And I wouldn't recommend it because your Gmail is not your email.
Right.
You know. But I also haven't tried it to see what it would do.
Because I've never been asked that before. Usually it just gives me what I'm asking for. But I've never had, because I don't use the Gemini.
Yeah, and I don't have a good answer for that. I'm going to ask Mark on the spot and see.
And then for these tools, if I don't put any tools, it's just going to give me a bunch of information. Or like, I don't know what some of these tools mean.
So like guided learning is more for like a student perspective. Deep research would be like if you wanted it to pull in sources and like make a report or something like that for you. Canvas will do that split screen and give you the mock-up on the other side. I use that for reports. I use it for all kinds of things.
Like Canvas, like you're talking to create images or websites like that?
Yeah,
kind of thing?
or reports.
So in the other one, in Copilot, it asks like deep thinking or something. Does this have this too? Like if I don't want something surface level, if I want something more like what's this?
That's what you want to do to get it. So you want it to be basically thinking a pro. So it's always doing more thinking towards what you're asking for versus like the fastest. Fast is free.
Oh.
It's
Do
a
we
free
have
version.
access to Pro?
You do.
Okay.
Yeah, so use Pro.
Okay.
All right. Does anyone want to share out what they've done? Anything cool? Yeah.
So this morning I asked Copilot to critique an email. I didn't use any tools or any specifications. I just put in what I had typed. And then this afternoon I copied the exact same email into Gemini. And I got pretty much the same email from both of them, but then Gemini added another like shorter, brief, to the point kind of email, which would have been more beneficial for me.
Okay.
So with no tools or
Good.
anything. That
Yeah.
was my experiment.
Good. Jackie, I think Jackie had her hand up, and then I'll come over to Patty.
I asked it to create a National Student Employment Week poster and leave 3 spots to put my photos of our student workers and
Good. Patty?
So I loaded up a rather large document and told it to give me the top 5 adjectives that are used over and over again. You know, and it can do it in a minute and I can do it in hours.
Yeah.
And it was very good. It gave me the adjective and the meaning of the adjectives. Like, I didn't need that, but you know, whatever.
I like when it gives me more.
Yeah.
I will just one more time, because Marty found something. The Gemini will sometimes ask you to pull in its like its workspace. That's almost, sorry, let me find it. I don't have it here, but it would basically ask whether or not you want to give it access to your full Google Drive. The reason I haven't played with it yet. I don't know if we're allowed to do that. It would still be within our enterprise, so seems like it would be fine to do. The only thing to note is if it's going to have access to your Gmail account is not your professional account for Fort Hays. And so if you do end up playing with that, just be mindful of that. Because these different companies are basically trying to compete towards like being your whole ecosphere of AI, right? Give me access to your email, give me access to your calendar, and like this sounds all wonderful and good, but for Fort Hays, we want to be very careful about what we give permissions to, especially if you're playing with ChatGPT, because it's very easy to be like, oh, you write emails and you send them out? That's beautiful. That would make my life so much easier, but don't do it. All right. We are almost at time. I do just want to share with you these emails that are going to be coming out from me. We have an AI Institute Fair April 13th online and 14th in person. If you're in person, I will feed you. If you're online, I will try to give you prizes. Registration should have opened today, but I had back-to-back meetings, so it's not open today. Maybe it'll open tomorrow. We will see. But look out for an email for that, particularly if you want that Excel Copilot training. I did get that presentation. And then we are doing a survey. We're trying to figure out what AI means for Fort Hays, what it might look like as part of the digital master plan and the strategic plan going forward. I'd love to hear your input from that. This is our third year doing this longitudinal study. And so I would appreciate, really we're asking faculty, staff, and students, how are you using AI? How do you want to be using AI? And hopefully that would help structure what we might look like as a university going forward. So you have that available. And then I cannot stick around for questions because I do have to go to another meeting. But you will be seeing emails from me about AI. Feel free to email me back if you have any questions or concerns. I will figure out why Copilot really didn't like me today. And I'll try to get that fixed. But thank you all.
Why do you not like me today?
Yeah, because you're always talking smack on me. Do you need anything else from me?
Yeah, I created